Hi, let's go over assignment number 2. It is from the subject unit and it is called the park. First, let's go over the directions together. I'll tell you what is important and what's really not important in this assignment. Okay, for this assignment, go to a local park. Stop. You do not have to do this assignment at a park. You can do it anywhere you want. That's only a suggestion. Pick out one feature of the park to photograph. Now that is important. We are only choosing one subject. It could be a fountain, a small playground, a statue, anything. This will become the topic or subject of the photograph. Photograph your subject with wide angle, normal, and telephoto lens settings. Now I'll show you a bunch of pictures so you understand pretty clearly what those 3 shots mean and what they will look like. Make sure you have enough supporting details in the image to place your subject in the context of the park. Again, it does not have to be a park. Supporting details will just show your viewer the environment of your subject. Okay? After taking your photographs, load them into your computer and look at all the images you took. The next step will be to edit your images. Stop. We do not edit our images. I wish that they would not use that word, but they do. So, they do explain it a little bit. Here, editing means going through your images and selecting the ones you want to submit. You do not crop, you do not change colors, just the raw photograph. Okay? Select 3 of your photos. Make sure these 3 images have different views of your subject. Now that part is important too. Different views of your subject. I will show you what that means. Okay, so as always, we have 3 required shots that are zipped. The first shot is wide angle. Wide angle just means that your subject is small within the photograph and it's giving lots and lots of supporting details around it. Okay, wide angle means that you're backed up, zoomed out. Okay, so when you're taking wide angle shots, I want you to take a bunch. Okay, here we can see another version of wide angle with the subject still small within the photo. It's in a different placement. Okay, I was moving all around this statue, or this sculpture, I guess. It's not a statue. And taking a bunch. So when I got home, I would have more than one to choose from. Okay, and here is another one. Now I'm going to have to choose between these 3 photos which of the wide angles I like best. Then I come in a little bit closer and get what is called a normal view. Normal view just means it approximates normal human vision. So it's going to look the same whether you have the camera in front of you looking through the viewfinder or if you take the camera away. So you're neither zoomed in nor zoomed out. You're at a medium distance. Okay? You can see the whole subject, but it's not small. It's taking up more of the photo than in a wide angle. Let's take a look at a couple more. Now, as you can see from one to the next, I'm getting different views. Okay, this one's a straight on shot. I've kind of cropped off or chopped off the bottom of it. And then here's another. It's similar to the first one, but it is a little different. I'm getting a little bit different angle on it. Little bit different surrounding details. Okay. In all 3 of these, I'm getting all or almost all of the subject, and it's taking up more room on the photo than in a wide angle. Okay, let's take a look at our next required shot as a telephoto shot. That's when you're zoomed in very close. Okay, so you're only, in a telephoto, you're only taking a picture of part of your subject. Okay, you're not getting your whole subject in the photograph. And this small part of the subject is taking up basically the entire photograph, okay? So you're really not getting many supporting details at all. All you can see here is some sky. That's it. Here's another one with a portrait orientation, which means that it is taller than it is wide. Very zoomed in. I'm only taking a picture of part of the subject, and it's taking up almost all of the photo. And let's take a look at one more. And now it comes to the part where I need to make a decision. And so this is what I have decided. 3 completely different views. This one's front on shot. I like this one because it really the way the light is hitting it, it really draws attention to it and makes you understand very clearly that this is the subject. Okay, it is small within the frame and giving lots and lots of supporting details around it. Okay, this is the one I chose for normal view. I like this one because it does get in the whole subject. I didn't chop off the base, and the base is pretty cool too. And I like that it was a little over to the side, so you're getting a different view of it. I like the way that it looks so tall against the sky. Okay, so I am still getting the whole subject in, but it's taking up much more room than over here on the wide angle. And then I chose this for the telephoto view. It is, again, obviously a completely different angle. And in this one, I just really like the shape of this. Okay? Okay, we're going to take a look at some student work, some past student work. And these are not perfect. They work. They kind of get the concept, but they're not perfect. And so let's talk a little bit about why. So this up here, the top one is the wide angle. The next one is normal view. And the next one is telephoto. Now, if you notice, they all are pretty similar distance. Okay, so I want to see a huge difference between wide and normal, and a huge difference between normal and telephoto. The one thing that the student did a really good job on is getting different angles. Okay, here you're from the front, here a little to the side, and here the person climbed right up on top, and you're getting it kind of side and downward. Okay, but this one should be way zoomed up, and this one should be way zoomed, excuse me. This one on the top should be way zoomed out. You want to see lots of supporting details around it, and you don't. This one I've always really liked. This is the first one that I received of a person as the subject, which I thought was very creative. This one, using a person, it's very easy to get different angles, right? Because the person is moving around. So here on the bottom, you see wide angle with the little girl small within the frame. Normal view, she's up closer, you're still getting the whole subject in the frame. It's taking up more space, you're coming closer. And up on the top, you're even closer. But really, I want you to think about what would be the very best shot. I really think that if she could have, the student should have come kind of down in front of the child and gotten even a closer one of just the dandelion and her face. How cool would that be? Okay, but this person still absolutely got an 80 out of 80. Okay, you're getting different angles, you're moving around the subject, and you're still showing that you understand wide, normal, and telephoto. This, again, is one of my favorites. This is a good example of how someone lives way out in the middle of nowhere and cannot get to a park, and so they used what they had. Very creative, okay? The one thing that I would say about this assignment is I would prefer that they take the date off. Please, please take the date off. You can't do it once you take the pictures. You have to do it ahead of time in your camera settings. So it's distracting. It really takes away from the artistic quality of the photograph. Here's another one, wide, normal, and telephoto, where the person really moved around and got different angles, very creative. I like the telephoto that they found a little graffiti and it says, "I'm sorry." So it even adds a little textual information. Here's a pretty standard one when people go to a park. Pretty obvious. Top is telephoto, middle right is normal, and then the bottom is the wide angle. Now, even though this person followed the directions and got a good score, it doesn't really look like they had a whole lot of fun doing it. Okay, so make sure that you choose something that is interesting to you. Again, this one, not so creative, not very interesting to look at. So even though you're getting the concept and you're displaying your knowledge, you're not creating interesting photographs, okay? This person did not move around the subject. However, they did show a wide angle, normal, and telephoto. Okay, in this assignment, here are some things to keep in mind while you are shooting. Choose only one subject to shoot. All 3 photos that you submit will be of the same subject. Now, wide angle is far away, normal view is a medium distance, and telephoto is very close. Remember not to get too close that your camera can't focus. Okay, you have to know your camera and know how close you can get while it can still focus. Okay, next, the distance in the photos should be obvious. Very far away, right in the middle, and then very close. I don't want to have to try and decide which is which. It should be obvious. You must move around the subject to get different angles. Choose a subject that is interesting to you. There is not an actual camera lens setting for this assignment. In the directions, it says camera lens setting. This does not mean you have to change settings on your camera. It only means that you need to move your body closer or farther away and to use your zoom. Everyone has a zoom. Okay. Lastly, you do not need to take your photos in a park. That is just a suggestion. Sorry, that word got cut off. It is there, but it's just a suggestion. Okay. You get to be creative and choose your environment, but parks work very well. Okay. Thanks and good luck. Have fun with this.